Hey, what's up guys, Mashine here, come back with another video. Today is going to be the ultimate case investing guide for 2021. I made a video similar to this in 2020 about 7 to 8 months ago, and it's starting to become a little bit outdated as we have a new operation on our hands and a lot of new investment opportunities for cases in the Shattered Web and Operation Broken Fang form. But before we get onto that, let's take a quick look at our sponsor. The sponsor for today's video is Kivana. Now, Kivana is a site I personally reached out to because I like the site so much. They offer so much different ways to invest, and that's one of the reasons I really like it. They currently offer a 0% fee, and it's only going to go up to a 1% fee after the beta. Now, they offer no holds on your items, and they do this by letting you invest into the items without putting it into your Steam inventory. They currently hold the items on their bots, and when you want to take the items out, you can easily do so. This allows you to buy and sell items super quickly without having to worry about the holds at all. And since they are a pretty new site, they are currently backed by Steam Analyst, which is a very trusted source. They are currently the only site I know of that allows you to cash out through PayPal. And when you sign up using the link in the description, you'll receive 3 free cases once you deposit $10, and these cases are going to be some pretty expensive ones. You're looking at the breakout cases, the Phoenix cases, the glove cases, all cases that are pretty good investments for the future. Thank you so much to Kivana for sponsoring this video, and let's hop on into it. Now, CSGO is starting to move into a little bit different investing wise. They're starting to move into a case dominated market, and this is very important because cases are going to be your golden investment now. For that reason, case investing is probably going to be on your radar, and if it's not already, it should definitely be something you're incorporating into your inventory. For this guide here, I'm going to go over a couple main points. Starting off first here, we're going to be having investing into older cases. Now, these are cases that are gone and they are long gone. Looking at the Esports 2013 winter case, looking at the Bravo case, the weapon cases, all of these cases that are long gone and will probably stay long gone. Most of these cases are going to be pretty longer term investment as well. We're not seeing as much active growth movement from them in the short term here. We're seeing mostly that these cases over time are going up a couple cents each week or whatever. Looking at the Bravo case, it didn't just spike up in one day and stay at that price. It's been slowly creeping up as the case becomes more and more rare. And that's pretty similar to all of the other cases that are older here. You're seeing that these cases are slowly making their move. With investing in these cases though, the main con to this is that it is pretty expensive. Most of these cases have already developed their price and they're not going to fall below it. But that is also a pro to it as well, as these cases are pretty stable. Now, every operation and big update will drop these prices down for a very small period, like the Bravo case fell to almost 20 to 22 bucks. But otherwise, these cases recover very quickly as people know how valuable they are in the long term. And for that reason, these are probably going to be one of the safest investments you can make. But at the same time, you're probably not going to get the growth that you might get with investing in some of these up and coming cases. Next up here, you have what I called the retired cases. Now, the retired cases are a little hard to define because they incorporate so many of the CSGO cases that we currently have. I like to define it as the Phoenix case, the breakout case, the glove case, the Shattered Web case. All of these cases that actually hold a decent amount of value for a case. They're usually in like the 50 cents to maybe $1.50 price range. They're not too expensive, but they're at a price where you can see that they're probably going to be pretty stable moving forward. These are the cases that you're also going to want to keep for the longer term because they might end up like the cases I mentioned before as the super old cases. These cases have the potential to be the next Bravo case. Like the Shattered Web case, it was only dropping for a small period of time, which is very similar to the Bravo case. This is some of the things you want to look for when you're looking for a case to invest in. The Shattered Web case is a great investment. It's got the potential to become super expensive, and it's definitely comparable to the Hydra case, and that's something you want to look for. If you're looking into these cases, you want to see what's unique about them. If you look at the glove case, what's unique about the glove case? It was the first case to have gloves in it, and for that reason it is holding a price of 80 cents. If you look at some of the more ununique cases, they are usually going for a smaller price. In the retired cases group, these are definitely the cases you're going to see most people recommending you invest into, as they're pretty much guaranteed to go up in the future. If you look at the breakout case, the case is around $1 now, and I think it might be a little bit before it breaks over $1. It's just a value that it's struggled to go over because it is only a breakout case and there's still a lot of them available. But these are the cases that a lot of people suggest because they're pretty safe and there's not really a high chance that you're actually going to lose money on these. And if you hold them for the longer term, there's pretty much no chance you're going to lose money on these. If you look at all these cases graphs, unless you bought in at the peak of it and sold at the lowest point, you're definitely going to be making some profit investing in these. Next up here, I'm going to be talking about the non-prime drops. That's my third group, is the non-prime drops, and this one is pretty self-explanatory. It's all the cases that are currently in the non-prime drop pool. And this is looking at your gammas, your spectrums, all of those cases similar to that. They're usually holding a value of maybe 10 to 20, 25 cents in there. They're usually decently expensive for something that's still dropping pretty commonly, but at the same time, you could definitely be able to pick up a lot of these for a pretty good price and hold them for the long term. These are your cases that you're going to be looking for them to reach into the retired stage. Once they reach into the retired stage, if you invested now, you'll be making at least double your money to potentially 5x your money. And these are the ones that people kind of sometimes want to avoid telling you to invest into, just because they have the potential to be pretty volatile right now. These cases can go up and down pretty quickly, but at the same time, these cases in the long term are definitely going to be looking towards the positive point. When you're investing into these cases, you're definitely going to want to stay on the lookout for cases that just got pushed out of the non-prime pool or cases that just got pushed into the non-prime pool. One great example of this is the CS20 case. We've seen the CS20 case skyrocket in price. It's gone up almost 40% in the past week or two. And this is because it's kind of common knowledge now that the CS20 case got pushed into the non-prime drop pool, making it much more expensive as it's not commonly dropping. This is something that if you noticed right away, you could easily have made a decent amount of money just selling them back a week later. But if you want to hold on to them for a lot longer, you could definitely be looking at a lot better profit. Overall, for the non-prime drop pool though, these are the cases that I definitely suggest you hop onto now before they get pushed into that retired stage, because these are the cases that definitely have a lot of potential moving forward. If you look at the spectrum cases and the gamma cases, they all have some really good looking knives in them, and that's definitely going to hold some price in the future. These cases are going to be known as one of the first ones with these super cool looking knives and the finishes on them, and for that reason they'll probably hold a little bit higher price point than 10 cents. Finally, here we have the prime drops, and the prime drops are the cases that are currently in the active drop pool for CSGO. These are the cases like the Prisma, the Prisma 2, and cases similar to that. These cases are usually the cheapest ones on the market. They're usually only about 4 or 5 cents for the most part, and that's because there is so many of these cases. Now, these cases in the long term will most likely reach some sort of status in the non-prime drop pool, and then maybe even the retired status depending on how long CSGO stays relevant for. But right now they're just not the best investment. One case you should definitely be looking to avoid right now is the fracture case. Now, the fracture case has been tricking a lot of people recently because people are looking at the fracture case and saying, it's going up in value, we should definitely invest into it now. But the fracture case is still dropping and will most likely stay dropping for at least a year. From what we've seen from Valve, they like to keep their cases in the prime drop pool for potentially a year or two. And this was when we were getting back 4 or 5 new cases a year. Now we're only seeing a couple cases come out a year, and for that reason the fracture case might stay in there even longer. Overall, the fracture case will probably hit 5 cents before it hits $1, and for that reason it's definitely one you should be looking to avoid. Finally, here for the prime drops, there's one case that I want to point out, and that is the clutch case. Now, the clutch case has a much higher value than the Prisma case, coming in at around 13 to 14 cents, and that's because people are investing into this case in hopes that it gets pushed out of the prime drop pool. Now this is something that's kind of risky, but at the same time, if you hold on to it long term, it's pretty much zero risk. The clutch case is the one that has been in the prime drop pool for almost the longest, and it's one that people are predicting that it might be pushed out by a new case in the future. Now they're trying to just get a little bit ahead of the game here and invest in it early, and if you're holding it long term, it's not a terrible investment in the slightest. But there's a lot of people who are going to invest into it now and see the price. It might decrease to 8 or 7 cents in the future if it takes a while for it to get pushed out, and at that point they're going to sell it off and mark it up as a loss. And that's the biggest scare factor about investing in the prime drops, is that people don't want to wait a year or two for their investments to mature and for them to be able to get the amount back that they wanted. Finally here, I'm going to actually put the Operation Broken Fang case kind of in the prime drops at the moment. Now the Operation Broken Fang case is very unique because with the Shattered Web case, which a lot of people like to compare it to, we were able to get 8 of those for free. Now people can get 50 of those for free, so there's going to be a lot more of those on the market. I think the price of it will definitely decrease before it starts coming back up again. I think in the long term you'll definitely be set, but in the shorter term of maybe 2 to 3 months, you're probably going to see it go down a little bit, especially towards the end of the operation if the pass gets discounted. But as long as you hang on to it for the long term, I think you'll definitely be set. But that is all I have for today, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.